Back up again today. It is 1st of October, Wednesday. We had a big meeting this morning, so I had a bit of a late start, but all of the forest resources were in on a big old meeting because right now, starting at the beginning of today, the government's shut down, so we've been figuring out who is still allowed to work, who is technically furloughed. As of right now, I'm still considered able to work, which is what we figured. I'm still in fire, emergency services, that kind of stuff. They don't shut that down. We can't get paid during this time, but at the very least we can still get work and it'll eventually be back paid to us. But it kind of worked out in my favor for this. I can't do any overtime right now. So with my car being gone, I've been working 6 days a week, 10-hour days every single day. So that is going to change. Thankfully, my 2 overtime days were at the beginning of the week before the shutdown happened. So I should be able to work the rest of this week normally and it'd be fine. If not, then I might just unfortunately lose 2 of those days, but it's not like I'm doing strenuous hard labor right now. It's just kind of hanging out up here and watching the clouds roll by. So if that happens, I'm not going to be that upset about it. But if the government stays shut down, then I just kind of have to continue as long as that's going on, only working Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So I'll have 3 days off where I have to sit down at the barracks. I can't do anything. So it's a bit of a bummer, especially when I've been hoping to at least get some overtime raked in to help offset the cost of a new car. But do what I can. It's not in my hands anymore, so everyone's looking out for each other around here, and I appreciate that. We'll get through it. It's about an hour before I go into service. There's the lights out in the valley, the harvesters still going into the early morning. Here's the sunrise. It's still a bit windy, but very pretty. Something I finally got around to doing today was baking cookies up here. I had been meaning to do this for a while. It was a very simple ginger snap recipe that I picked up some stuff from. As you can see, I overcrowded this tray. I already did one earlier, and I didn't want to do 3 batches, but had these on the docket for a little while, and the first batch turned out pretty good. They're nothing to write home about, but they're nice, simple ginger cookies, and I'm glad that I got to make them up here. I didn't want to put it off any longer because, I mean, I'm only going to be able to spend so many days up here now. But, yeah, it was a nice thing to get done. There's a grouse in that tree over there. There was something that was making noise over here. I think he was sitting on the underside of my tower, but he was just sitting on the hood of my truck. Now he's up in that juniper tree. He, she, I can't tell, I don't know. I don't know birds well enough for that, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a grouse. The grouse just flew up. He's over on top of the railing. What is he doing? Why is he up here? What are you doing, dude? So I was grabbing pictures of that grouse on my phone the last time I was here. It flew down the hill. Now he's back up. What are you doing? Why do you keep coming up here? I don't have any food for you. He's loud. Hey, you clucking at me? Better not be pooping on my truck. Goofball. There he is down there. Just kind of hanging out and trying to get it in focus for you guys. he's just hanging out down there, so he might be a frequent visitor for the rest of the season. That's alright. Hopefully I don't bother him too much and he isn't too much of a problem for me. Well, that was really wild for a second there. I've been working on this painting, which I'm going to eventually get to the guys down at the district office. And then I took a phone call to deal with possibly the new car that I'm going to get. And then I looked... I need to turn the radio up. And then I looked over this way, and I thought I saw smoke. And is it doing it again? Yeah, I think it is. Pushing up a little bit over there. I didn't call it in, but I did call the duty officer, and he's heading out that way now. Now it's just kind of catching the light a little bit. I don't know. It might be a water dog, but it popped up from one specific location, and there's literally no water dogs anywhere else around. And it was very tightly knit. And at the very end, right before it disappeared, it was a tight little column, and then now it's kind of gone. So I don't know if the wind shifted or what, but I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. The culprit has been discovered. My battalion chief, who was thankfully already over there, drove up that ways, and there's a hunting camp over there. Apparently they had some kids, and so they rigged up a bunch of pine needles and threw it on the fire. It looked pretty big, which is why it caught me off guard. But yeah, it was just a bunch of wet needles going onto a bonfire and threw up into the air, so they're all good. No worries. Hopefully they have a nice night out there. Hopefully I didn't get too scared by my battalion chief anyway. But yeah, mystery solved. Now I can just take in the pretty views. I need to paint the area in this lighting. It's just so gorgeous right now. And you can smell the junipers and the pine needles. This is the time of year that I just love the most. Out here, back home, I just love fall. I just called into service, and it is pretty chilly out here. Railing's still a little iced over, and you can see down in the valley there, it's pretty blue. Must have iced over a little bit during the night. You can see Shasta a little bit. Got a lot more snow on it. Yeah, nice calm morning. Today's the last day of my work week. And I'll be off for 3 days, and I'm going to see if I can take the time to head up to Eugene and get a new vehicle. But today first. I think I kind of showed it earlier, but Shasta has a really good lens going over it right now. Let me see if I can get it on the scope. Yeah, look at that. Oh, what a gorgeous mountain. Getting ready to head down for the weekend now. Oh, this just kicked on. That just reminded me that I need to turn it off because I don't want it being on while I'm up here, or I don't want the pilot light to leak. Anyway, finishing up, I may be heading up to Eugene on Monday to get a new vehicle, but I've just got to cross my fingers that it doesn't sell on Sunday. I've already decided that I'm not taking the train up Sunday, tomorrow, because someone else is going to get there first, and I'd be really mad if I was already on the train and it sold, because I'd just have to figure out basically how I'm going to spend the rest of the day, catch the same train basically back down, and get a very late night ride, or I'd have to get a hotel in Klamath Falls. Anyway, big headache. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. Hopefully it won't sell tomorrow, and I'll be able to go up and get it myself on Monday. But Another thing that I got done while I was up here is this painting. It's kind of done. I also kind of want to keep editing it. I think I'm going to bring it down to the barracks with me and do a little bit more on the shadows and stuff. But this is going to go to the guys down at the district office, so I think they'll really like that. Shasta turned out way better than I thought it was going to, so maybe I'll get this finished while I'm down over the next 3 days.